Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing this morning? This is Reganelite here with another Good Morning show. It is the 30th of May. Wow, we are on the eve of entering June, guys, which will be the halfway point of the year for 2025. That's crazy. It always felt like yesterday that it was January. That's how crazy it was, guys. Welcome to the Good Morning Show, where we will look at today's weather. We will look at today's quotation, and then we will have a look. I'll ramble on about something, and then we'll look at some of the media. Today, we're actually going to cover a mixture, both UK and world. I thought we'd do today, guys. And I'll try to give a little bit on America as well. But I just want to say good morning to Jane Wallace, Madbunk33, Billy Kershaw, Mithril, Martin Brisk, and anybody else who may be lurking in the chats. Hope you guys are all doing well. The date and time of this is the 30th of May, 2025 at 8 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1, just for reference there. So quickly before I go into the weather and the quotations, what happened, Regan? What happened last night? Essentially, I was doing work on my wrestling content pretty much all day yesterday, and it was giving me a right headache. And it was literally giving me a right headache, and it got to a point where my head was really, really bad. I took ibuprofen, and the headache would not go away. And I basically was like about an hour or hour and a half before it, and I was just like saying to myself, look, I just can't go into a live stream like this. So I said, I can't do the live stream. So I just couldn't do it, guys. It's not that if I didn't have the migraine, I would have done it. And normally when I have migraines, I can push through it. I can push through a show. But it was a really, really bad one. And I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't sleep so well. I don't know. Maybe it was that the night before, possibly. But I woke up with a much clearer head this morning. So, in saying that, I still haven't posted all my quotes around social media. And I've woken up with, decided to work for some reason, woken up with a little bit of reflux already when I haven't even taken any Gaviscon, which is not very good either. It's just a migraine. Nothing. It was a really bad migraine, and they happen. It happens, guys. Is all it was. Right, but let's get on with the show here. I don't know whether or not I'm still going to do Snowflake Conflict. I might just leave that show and just focus on getting content done for the weekend ahead instead. I don't normally do a Friday evening live stream, and I don't really. It doesn't feel right doing one after Friday Frolics as well, especially when you have a fun live stream and then you come onto my show, and then it's like after Daily Blasation, you come onto my show and it's like all doom and gloom sort of thing. It's not the right mood, if you know what I mean. So I may drop the Snowflake Conflict tonight and just do this show and just get on with recording some stuff for you guys. But I'll drop a post if I do make a decision on that. Let's get on with things, because we've got quite a lot. Starting with the weather today, guys. So it's currently 15 degrees here in London at roughly 8 a.m. and it's going to get warmer. I did say it was going to get warmer, and yesterday it was quite warm, despite the fact that it was very cloudy. It can reach as high as 23 degrees here. And about as late as 3 to 5 o'clock, it can be really that warm here. So what I'm probably going to do, because there's kind of a balance here, because you're always supposed to try and let ventilation into your house, have a little bit of air in and all that kind of thing. I think I might keep the windows shut today and the curtains closed, because sometimes when it's the humidity and the heat and can be really, really bad. Can be really bad inside the house. So sometimes it's better to have it blocked out rather than let in. But yeah, it's going to be pretty, like, I'm looking at the weather report. Yeah, it's going to be cloudy all day. Sun is going to try and break through later on in the morning, but in a couple of days. But it's going to be too cloudy for it to break through apparently here. I should also point out that on Saturday it's going to reach as high as 25 degrees. Here in London, so it's going to be even more hotter. It's expected to be cloudy all day that day as well. So it's going to get warmer. And then on Sunday, it's going to drop back down to 21 degrees. So it will drop down to 21 degrees on Sunday, Monday 21. It'll drop a little bit Sunday and Monday, and then down a little bit more to Tuesday, Wednesday the following week, and then it will rise back up again. This is what the weather is reporting there for us. So let me know what the weather's going to be like where you guys are. I used to get horrible migraines, says Mithril. I seem to have grown out of it when I was about 45 low. Yeah, I mean, it can be sometimes a case of I just haven't drunken enough water, or I haven't eaten enough. One of the things that I can suffer from as well is called, I like to call it information overload, where you're thinking and doing so many things at once, and it can overwhelm your brain. That's something that that is. Cardamom pods are good for reflux. I put 2 or 3 pods in my coffee in the morning. Yeah. Regan, you're not showing up on my feed. That's your notification, but that's the possible notification. Might be your notifications, and you turn off and turn back on. DodgeryNet, good to see you there. The algorithm has not been pushing my content this week at all. It's been very, very poor. I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. But the algorithm has not been pushing the content at all. So that's not a me thing. That's a YouTube thing. I'm putting content out there. It's just not getting enough enough to it. Sun is shining. They have a forecast of 26 degrees today and tomorrow. Perfect weather for painting my front doors, says Jane Wallace. Oh, lovely in France there. That's some good weather there, over there, for sure. So what is today's quote of the day? There is still one more quote for May, but if you want to find out that one, you'll have to check out my social medias, because I will not be doing a morning show tomorrow, because it is the weekend, guys, because we have made it to the weekend. So here is today's quota. Here it is, to show that I don't mess around, just for reference here. So this one, 30th May, is by John Wooden, and it says, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. That is by John Wooden there. That's a very good one. I like that one. And tomorrow's quotation is a very short one, but you'll have to wait. You'll have to look out on my socials to find out that one, guys. And you can find all my socials in the links tree down below if I'm there. So, unfortunately, sorry about that, guys. Right, so let's talk about my one last piece of the holiday that I went to. As you guys who've been following on the Good Morning shows, I've talked about some of the places that I've been to. Durham Park from the National Trust. Abigailsworth in Wales was another spot that we went to as well. But on that same day of Abigailsworth, I said to you guys yesterday morning that we had another place to travel to as well, and that place was Snowdonia. Yes, Snowdonia, guys. So for those who have been on Discord, paid attention to the general chat last week, may have noticed that I was talking about shared some videos of it as well, especially those who were on Games Night as well. They got to see there as well. Oh, I just realised something. Hold on. Is it not available to do? Oh, that's a shame. For some reason, I can't. 1 second. Why can't I do it here? Sorry, 1 second, chat. Something's wrong here. Ah, there it is. I don't know. Forgot to set that up to support the Democratic Penguins Republic, guys. Just once. I can't believe I didn't set this up. Boom. Right, let me put that back up there. Yes, so Snowdonia. So let me show you guys a little bit of Snowdonia here. Here it is from the wiki. There is on our actual website as well, but I don't want to get bombarded with cookies, just for reference here. So this is the other half of the day. So we actually didn't get the. So for reference, I just want to point out, because we did go to the peak. I did not walk it. I did not walk to the elevation there, which is 3,560 feet. Just for reference there. I took the train up and I'll explain the train in a little bit, guys. But let me tell you a little bit about Snowdonia, where we went to. Was one of the last big stops of our trip in Wales. So Snowdonia, or Erie is the Welsh name, is a mountainous region and national park in North Wales. It contains all 15 mountains in Wales, over 3,000 feet high, including the country's highest snow dome, which is 1,085 meters. That is 3,560 feet tall. These peaks are all part of Snowdonia, Gauleidru and Calardinu ranges from the north of the region. The shorter Malawaljing and Malhebok ranges lies immediately to the south. The national park has an area of 823 square miles, that's 2,130 kilometres, and it's the fourth largest in the UK and covers most of central and southern Gwydion and the western part of the Caldron County Borough. And this is much larger than the area traditionally considered Snowdonia. And in addition to the 5 ranges, including the Rhydodine, the Cala Edries, and Aidan ranges, and the ID Hills, it also includes most of the coast between Porth Madum and Abbey and Aberdave. I know I'm botching the names, guys. The park was the first of 3 national parks in Wales to be designated in October 1951 and the third in the UK after the Peak District and the Lake District, which were established in April and May 1951 respectively. The park receives 3.89 million visitors in 2015. The name Snowdonia means snow hill and is derived from Old English elements at Schnorr and Dun, the latter meaning hill, and Snowdonia is simply taken from the name of the mountain. The origins are less clear. 2 popular interpretations are that the name is relative to Airy Eagles, or that it means highlands, and is relative to Latin ori, to rise. The latter is considered more correct for Airy as a plural, and that means upland, but it is not any direction form of word of Aries in the meaning eagle. It's quite interesting, actually, that if you actually go there, like the where you go to the town where you get the train up to, and train up there and whatnot, they don't actually have signs that say welcome to call it Snowdonia. It's called by they call it by one of the Welsh names there. They don't actually call it Snowdonia, but it's referred to as Snowdonia because that's the easiest name for people there. Don't worry, I'll get to pictures in a bit, guys. So before the boundaries and the national park were designated, Snowdonia was generally used to refer to a smaller upland area in northern Gywyn, a centre on the Snowdon Massif. The national park ever covers an area more than twice the size extending to the south of the Merlin Dune area. So I just want to see if I can. I'm going to just have a go on. I'm going to have a hop on Discord. You might hear a few beepings there. Thank you so much, MadMonk33, for the £2 super chat to support the Democratic Penguins Republic. It's much appreciated, my friend. Snowdonia is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. It really, really is. I'm just going to scroll up on the general chat here. See if I can. Yeah, if I can actually. Can I do this without? Yeah, I'm going to mute the desktop audio. So you guys who haven't been on Discord, you can actually see on Discord. It's a small bit there, but yeah, this was the peak of Snowdonia Mountain here. So this was me, literally on the top of right on the top of the peak, because you have to climb up some stairs and whatnot to get on top of it, and then and there's a little dial that you can stand on there, and it was windy. But it wasn't as bad as you would say if you were to go during October time. During the winter time, it would be a lot more dangerous, obviously. The wind would be a lot more ferocious, but it was still windy nonetheless. I was wearing my cap. For those who are curious, I was wearing a cap, and I didn't lose the cap. And if you're wondering why I didn't lose the cap, it's because I tightened up my cap so tight it would not come off my head. Because while we were there, somebody else actually lost their hat. Actually flew off their head because it wasn't tight enough. But yeah, if I just play it there. So there it is from the top where I was standing. This is me with my camera phone, literally going all the way around, doing a full 360 all the way around. But yeah, that was the peak that I was there. It's absolutely incredible, as you can see there, guys. I'm going to see if I've got a couple more. There's some shots of me on top there, as you can see. Is that the same one? I think that's the same one that I posted. Yeah, that is the same. I think that's the same one. Yeah. If I just pause it there, just below here, just below that point there, you can just see that's the actual station, where the train station where the train drops us off. You only have about 30 minutes before you need to get back on the train to go back down, as well. Just a reference. However, they do have a visitor centre there. I spent no time in the visitor centre, guys, because I was too busy taking photos and videos. I really was making the most of the really making the most of being up there. It was yeah, quite sensational, and you can tell by the weather. The weather was absolutely gorgeous on the day. We were very, very lucky throughout our whole time in Wales that we did not have any bad weather whatsoever there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys from Discord. So at least you guys saw some stuff, some pictures there. So here it is on Google, the Snowdonia. Just a couple of images here from reference. This here we go. This here you can see on the right hand side here. This is on when you reach the top of the peak. Is this little sundial? I think it's fair to say, some kind of dial, if I remember. And in case anyone's wondering, no, my partner did not get on the top of the peak with me. She was at the bottom she was at the bottom. She didn't climb up to the peak itself. She was staying with the crowd. She was a bit hesitant because of the wind, understandably so, which is totally fine. But I remember standing up on top of here, and there were two guys. One guy quite elderly, quite an old guy, and he was like, "You're all right, yeah, bit windy up here, yeah, it's a bit windy up here." It was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that was on top of the peak right there. You can see there's another shot there from Wales there. Absolutely wonderful shots there. I didn't see much waters and whatnot, to be fair. Well, waterfalls, to be fair. But I've not seen what it's like during the winter. But I don't imagine that these are 22 best views in Snowdonia. So I imagine in the winter it's pretty beautiful to see, although it'd be very, very cold. But I imagine it'd be very pretty to see nonetheless out there. Obviously, there was your fair share of sheep as well. One of the as well there, but absolutely stunning views of Snowdonia there. Really wonderful stuff there. I just wanted to show you this as well. So this is the Snowdonia Mountain Railway. This is the train that can take you all the way up from the bottom there. So you can see this is a great shot of the rail line that takes you all the way up there. I thought that's a great photo there, so you can really see on the right hand side. I know it's a bit small, but you can, from your guys' view, but you should be able to just see the rail line that literally takes you up there. I generally wonder what it was like to actually build this railway, to get it all the way up there as well. But yeah, that's the that's the unit, and it actually pushes you up there as well. It's actually one that pushes you up there, but as well, which is pretty awesome as well. And you can see another shot of it, of the railway as well, and even and also even when so we pre-booked our tickets in advance, guys, and even on a Wednesday, midweek, not half term, it was still booked full on that day. Like that's how popular Snowdonia really is, just for as well. Like even on a not a weekday, not a half term day, it's still very busy. Which is pretty incredible. Sighting point there, I think they call it Triggs. I think I call it Triggs points, maybe. Thanks for that, Mithril. Interesting. So yeah, Snowdonia. That was the main final point trip of the of the holiday of a holiday. We did make one other stop somewhere, but it wasn't. I think it was like a little nothing really too fancy on a stop on our way back on Thursday, but that was the main peak, shall we say, of the holiday in Wales. So yeah, maybe I should do more. Maybe I should do more. Maybe I should do more of of holidays and places that I've been to, and I can share my views about them. Maybe I should do something like that potentially, because I really enjoyed talking about those holidays with you guys. I thought it was very, very interesting. Right. So before I wanted to cover, where is the news on? Right, I'm going to come to news, but I wanted to... Where's the story on... Right, so the big story that came about in the last couple of days, of course, was... Why is there nobody talking about it, like a proper news outlet talking about it? So one story that I really wanted to cover was the tariffs being held by the UN courts, but I don't have a specific news story that's talking about it because it's a couple of days old. The problem is that the news has a tendency to move on quite quickly, which is a bit annoying because I kind of wanted to talk about that story, but I can't seem to find it here, which is very, very annoying. That's really, really frustrating. So like I said, I've got a mixture of news stories anyway, but so we'll start from Al Jazeera here, and then we're going to do switch between UK and world news for reference before we go into it at half past. I think we'll do. So first one here from Al Jazeera. Their headline is Hamas says that the US ceasefire proposal means continuation of killing in Gaza. Israel has agreed to a deal according to the US, while Hamas said it does not meet its demands but is under discussion. So literally, the last time I mentioned this was on Rumble. It was literally like Hamas said Hamas said it agreed, but the US said it hasn't agreed. So there's clearly some miscommunication. There's clearly something amiss really with this so-called ceasefire. Like someone's saying there's porcupines being told somewhere along all this. But this is today's article from Al Jazeera. They're saying a ceasefire proposal with Israel, tabled by the administration of the United States President Donald Trump, is still under discussion by Hamas, but in its current form will only result in the continuation of killing and famine in Gaza, an official from the Palestinian group has said. The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said on Thursday that Israel had signed off on the ceasefire proposal, and the Trump administration Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff has submitted it to the Hamas for consideration. Hamas's political bureau member Basim Naroun told the Reuters news agency that the deal does not meet any of our people's demands, for most among them halting the war. Nonetheless, the movement's leadership in studying the response to the proposal with full national responsibility, Nadim had added. Hamas will respond today or tomorrow, a source from the Palestinian group had told Reuters. So the details of the new proposal have not been yet made public, but senior Hamas officials had told Reuters that crucially did not contain commitments from Israel to end its war on Gaza, withdraw Israeli troops from the enclave, or allow aid to freely enter the war-torn country. And if that is all true, then there's no point in them accepting it, because that just gives them full carte blanche. And it's like basically telling them it's basically asking, the proposal is basically you need your complete and unconditional surrender. It's basically what it sounds like to me. So in a draft copy, Reporters said the proposal outlined an initiative 60-day ceasefire. 28 Israeli hostages alive or dead will be released in the first week in exchange for the release of 1,233 Palestinian prisoners and the remains of 180 dead Palestinians. The plan, reportedly guaranteed by President Donald Trump and mediators Egypt and Qatar, would also see aid sent to Gaza as soon as Hamas signs. The Israeli government has not publicly confirmed that it approved the latest proposal as well. Reports in the Israeli media this week suggest that the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the families of captives being held in Gaza that he's prepared to move forward with Witkoff's temporary ceasefire proposal. So, yeah, there is clearly a pressure to try and get some kind of ceasefire proposal, but whether it's actually going to turn into anything is another matter there. Steve, thank you so much for the $2 New Zealand dollars, my friend. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. There was a change in the original proposal to what was presented Hamas. Yeah, I see. Thank you for that, Mithril. That's not a surprise at always. You always have to do a disclaimer to condemn Hamas, but never the IDF. Yep. Indeed, Detri, indeed. So another story, this one from The Guardian, that Reform UK are to accept donations via Bitcoin. Nigel Farage says the party leader said he wants the UK to be a crypto warehouse during his speech at a Las Vegas conference. During an appearance at a Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, where he was introduced as the UK presidential candidate. I'm not kidding, that's actually what was said. You think I'm lying about that? Yeah, look, I'll show you. There you go. UK presidential candidate. Farage says, as of now, providing you are eligible UK donor, we are the first political party in Britain that can accept donations in bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. He said Reform was planning to introduce a crypto assets in digital finance bill. This would cut capital gains tax on crypto assets from 24% to 10%, turning the UK into a crypto powerhouse. I wonder where he got this idea to go all of a sudden go fully crypto. It's almost like, yeah, he's copying from somebody in America, you know. Farage added that the crypto legislation that his party had drawn up would include a Bitcoin digital reserve in the Bank of England. Farage says the bill would make it illegal for banks to debank customers who trade and to use and trade in cryptocurrency. On Thursday, the Reform website update was accepting cryptocurrency donations. There was a disclaimer stating that all donations were subject to Electoral Commission rules and that autonomous donations were not permissible. At the conference, Farage calls the acceptance of political donations initiative before commending America for being ahead of their stance on digital assets. Oh, of course, from America. He says, quote, my message to the British public and my message particularly to young people is to help you bring our country prosperity in the 21st century. He said, let's recognize that crypto and digital assets are here to stay. I don't think that's the main... I'm just going to go out on a limb, guys, and just say that I don't think that's the priority of the British people is banking on crypto assets. I think there's bigger things on them. I think there's bigger things to deal with than crypto assets, I'm thinking. This crypto bro dystopia is kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it's just... You really do not... Like, you really have to be fortunate to make money on crypto. I'm not an expert in stock and shares, but even though I have stock and shares, but even on crypto, like I've never made any money whenever I did use crypto a long time in the past. I never made any money. I never made any money off it. The most I spent on crypto was probably about maybe £100 max. But yeah, and all of them, I don't think I ever made really much money from them. Story from the Association Press that Elon Musk came to Washington wielding a chainsaw. He leaves behind upheaval and unmet expectations. Elon Musk arrived in the nation's capital with a chainsaw swaggering of a tech titan who had never met a problem that he couldn't solve with lots of money, long hours, and a well-carbureted algorithm. President Donald Trump was delighted to have the world's richest person, a top campaign donor working with his administration, talking about how he was a smart guy who really cares for the country. Musk was suddenly everywhere, holding fort in cabinet meetings while wearing a tech support shirt and a black MAGA hat, hosting with his young son on his shoulders. Now that's over. Musk said this week that he's leaving his job as a senior advisor, and announcing that came after he revealed his plans to curtail political donations, and he criticised the centerpiece of Donald Trump's legislative agenda. It's a quiet exit after a turbulent entrance, and he trailed upon upheaval and unmet expectations. Thousands of people were indiscriminately laid off or pushed out, hundreds of whom had to be rehired, and some federal agencies were eviscerated. But no one had been prosecuted for the fraud that Musk and Trump said was widespread within the government. Musk reduced his target of cutting spending from $2 trillion to $1 trillion to $150 billion, and even that goal may not be reached. So it's over for Elon Musk officially now. He's pretty much gone. And I just it's kind of like we knew that the relationship was going to end. We just didn't know when. We knew it was happening. It was just a case of matter of when, not if. And really, I think the breaking point was, of course, when was the big beautiful bill, which was not the benefit of Elon Musk. And the thing is, you think about how much money Elon Musk invested, how much he really invested, his time he put into the government, and now he's just been shafted completely now. He really has been shafted completely. And the thing is, it's not like he's come out fighting. He's just gone like a cold little puppy into the corner now that he's, not actually come out real fighting and whatnot. But basically, it gives everyone online to say Conch wants to tell Elon Musk, we told you so, you know. And the thing is, the guy is responsible for destroying so many people's lives because of what he did with Doge. You know, what they did with the cutting of the US aid so quickly killed so many people worldwide as well. And there's no accountability for it. There is no accountability whatsoever for any of it, guys. And that's the real sad thing about it all. Maybe someone told him he's making a twist of himself and told him how he's actually perceived. I don't know what he thinks in his head, if I'm honest. I don't know what he thinks. You don't think Farage is a bit like Dunphy? I think Farage is a shrewd man trying to think of how can he win over people, and hope that some people are not too stupid enough to pay attention to him as well. Right, so like I said, we're going to be covering a bit of world and a bit of UK, so I'm going to do a bit of in and out here. So I might add some more web pages as we go along here. So the first one we'll look at is Al Jazeera here. Obviously, we just looked at it now. Israel forces are now new displacement in North Gaza. Hamas is reviewing the ceasefire. Hamas said the US truth proposal meaning continuation of killing in Gaza. High stakes as Poland heads for round 2 of the presidential elections. Remaining contestants after a full first round are neck and neck, but the country's choice will determine whether government can get vital reforms through. That's very important for them. Yeah, I hope be interesting to see how that goes there. Not really, don't know a lot about Polish politics there, but I really hope it. I hope it is. They don't allow back in a lot of right wingers, if I'm honest. Shall we say far right instead? US to revoke Chinese student visas. What's the likely impact? That's not very good. 5 Mexican musicians have been abducted, murdered by alleged drug cartel. That's terrible. South Korea set to break early voting records as presidential election looms. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, the next, like I think I've mentioned this, but the next president of South Korea is under a lot of pressure, considering after the last one really did upheave a lot of things. I mean, South Korean politics is not exactly steady right now. It's quite fragile at the moment. Why is Elon Musk his Donald Trump's administration? China set up an international body in Hong Kong to rival the World Court. Japanese seafood set to return to China after Fukushima wastewater row. Climate activist Greta Thunberg to join a ship in an effort to break the Gaza siege there. I will come to the super chats in just a moment, just seeing what else is there. Man, they always like bringing up the football. Don't get me wrong, you know, I know people love their football. Musk says there's a 50-50 chance of an uncrewed Starship to Mars by late 2026. Didn't your last rocket you just set up blew up? Just saying. This must stop now. UN body condemns RSF attacks on Sudan's premises. Yep. Ukraine says no. Russia says no. Ukraine response on proposal for more Istanbul talks. Israel announced expansion of illegal settlement in the occupied West Bank. Yeah, this is going to be one of my short stories that I will covering over the weekend as well. That's very, very infuriating there. But just before we carry on, guys, thank you, Steve McMahon, for the $5 New Zealand dollars. Much appreciated, my friend. Really appreciate your support. Good morning, Alistair Keir. Good to see you there. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the £2 super chat. All hail the DRP. Thank you so much for that. And thank you again, man, Mark33, for the £2 super chat, helping reaching today's goal. Yeah, much appreciated, guys. Thank you. Right, let's have a look at the Guardian and see what they are saying in the UK. Actually, I'm going to close one of the web pages that might actually help with things. So we saw that Reform UK to accept donations via Bitcoin. Nigel Farage has said. Dismay as UK prepares to sign values-free 1.6 billion trade deals with the Gulf states. The Bank of England's governor is urging deeper ties with the EU to minimise Brexit impact. Prevent could be breaching UK equalities laws over treatment of autistic people. Yes, that's a very interesting one there. Police drop investigation into Tory MP Kristen Blunt over alleged rape report says. Farage says Samwa is obsessed by race as Hamilton by-election row escalates. Okay, sure. This story, I don't know how many of you saw the video. Here, I don't know if it will play. Hold on. Will it play? Will it play? Is it going to play? There we go. Basically, I've muted it for now, guys. But here's Robert Jenrick. But I'm sure you guys might have seen Robert Spears video on it yesterday. But here's Robert Jenrick playing as Batman, trying to catch fare dodgers, trying to stop them for some reason because he thinks he's a smart guy. Like, here's the thing. Like, this is a problem. Fare dodging is a problem in London. Fare dodging is a problem in a lot of places. Because it's quite easy for somebody to hop on the trains and tubes. In certain areas, they don't have barriers, and certain train stations, rail stations specifically. So it's quite easy for people to rail fare dodge. I've had a situation where I basically was tapping in at a tube station, and someone literally behind me was pushing through behind me just so they didn't have to tap and run past. Basically, they used me to fare dodge, basically. And no consent. I didn't have no consent or nothing like that. And did any of the staff stop him? Did any of the staff do anything about it? No. And it was just very. It's quite infuriating. But at the same time, it's like it's not really something that I need to deal with. It's something that they need to get a grip of. They really do need to get a grip on it. But before I carry on my train of thought, thank you, Asakir, for the 5 gifted memberships. Much appreciated. To Mr. E, Super Tiny 808, Firestarter, Rachel, and Bernie Burrows there. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. Much appreciated. And good morning, Kate Smith there. Hope you're doing well. And anybody else who may be lurking in the chats. Is this an issue? Yes. Is it a major issue? No. Is it more important than the cost of living crisis or immigration or other things? No. And who is responsible for encouraging more? And what political party is responsible for encouraging more fare dodging, encouraging more people to break the rules and break the laws because of 14 years of austerity? It's the Conservatives. So Robert Jenrick, no matter, like, this story does not. And Max literally said it in his video himself, and I'll tell you exactly what he said. This helps Nigel Farage and Reform UK, because nobody's going to say, oh, Robert Jenrick says he's going to tackle down fare dodgers, I'm going to vote for Conservative. And it's like, wait a minute, the Conservatives were the ones in charge for 14 years. What have they done to stop fare dodging? So, yeah, I mean, it's just really, really stupid. Let's have a look at the front of UK here and see what they've got here. So, new AI test can predict which men can benefit from prostate cancer drug. Artificial intelligence tools determines best candidates to take abiraterone, which can halve the risk of death from disease. Good. Anything that can help prevent cancer or prevent risk of death is always a good thing. It's very good to hear. Vet complaints process in UK often stacked against pet owners. July Prescott Store believes online pornography played a role in a rape case. Revolutionary DNA blood test to offer thousands in England tailor cancer care. Analysis, culture, and I think that's all we can look at for now from The Guardian. Let's have a look at the Association Press. Like I said, we're going to be going back and forth here. Why is the screen like that? Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Whoop. Yep, I keep moving my camera. See, I was at the bottom, now I've gone up. So this is the front of the Association Press. Elon Musk gone. There's Argentina President Mendy there as well. Yeah, how's Argentina doing, by the way? Bernard Leckert, who led the NYPD on 9/11 before prison and pardon, has died at the age of 69. A 700-pound boulder pins Alaska's man face down in the Glacier Creek for 3 hours. Oh my God, that's horrible. Trump suffered mental anguish from disputed CBS News interview with Harris, lawyers say. Japan says China will resume Japanese seafood imports with hold over Fukushima water discharge. Macron will kick off Singapore security conference with Hegseth in attendance. Iran says a US nuclear deal isn't imminent and that its enrichment program must continue. Yeah, so Trump talking about Iran really is just for the media. It's not actually something that's definitely happening. Why a Princetonian graduate student kidnapped in Iraq isn't still free 800 days later. But is that graduate still alive? We don't know. Long-shuttered US ambassador residence in Damascus is reopened over Washington mends ties with Syria. This is good for Syria. This is very good. Once Syria seemingly heading in the right direction there. I really do hope that Syria, like, it still has its problems, Syria, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. It's a hell of a lot better than it was under its last leader. But a lot of people in Syria are not used to it, and rightfully so, are very skeptical of the new administration. Lots of different. I mean, a lot of them obviously have. Some of them are terrorists and whatnot. So it's totally understandable for question marks over the Syrian government. But I just hope it holds, that it doesn't break, that a massive civil war does not break out within Syria. Because so far it hasn't happened. Yes, there has been some skirmishes in some places, yes, but it's not full blown war again. Trump administration increases pressure on sanctuary jurisdictions with public listings. White House acknowledges problems in AFK's Junior Will Make America Healthy Again report. Ex-assistant testifies Sean Diddy Combs sexually assaulted her and used violence to get his way. Stories under 60 seconds. See hundreds of climbers scale Mount Everest in its harshest weathers. Yep. I don't think I'll ever climb Mount Everest in my lifetime, guys. I am just not fit and able-bodied enough to do it. Even with months of preparation, I don't think I would be able to do Mount Everest. I'm sure there are some people who are certainly capable of doing it. Let's have a look at the BBC. Oh, she's still talking. Kemi Baganout attacks Starmer and Farage over welfare. Well, what are you guys going to say? So, Conservative leader Kemi Baganout has accused Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Reform UK leader Farage of indulging in fantasy economics over their approach to welfare politics. Writing in the Daily Fail, Baganout said both leaders believe in getting struggling taxpayers to fund unlimited child support for others. Her commentary comes as the Labour government indicated it was looking at possibly scrapping the two-child benefit cap. Farage says earlier this week that his party would also get rid of the policy and bring back more generous tax breaks for married people. Baganout added that the country could not afford their fantasy economics and that Britain deserves leaders who did not treat economics like a branch of showbiz. This week we've seen Labour and Reform race to the bottom to scrap the two-child benefit cap, she wrote. Starmer and Farage now believe in getting taxpayers, many of whom are struggling to raise their own children, to choose not to have them in the first place or to fund unlimited child support to others. The Conservatives said the policy which they introduced of limiting means test benefits to just 2 children in most families should not be scrapped. Yeah, because they believe in child poverty. In a speech this week, Farage says he wanted to lift the cap, blah, 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 blah. Bridget Phillipson said the government was looking at scrapping the two-child benefit cap, but warned it would cost a lot of money. And we already heard from Angela Rayner last week on that. Yeah, I don't think many people really care too much what Kemi Baganout has to say there, if I'm honest. Not really too much that I haven't already seen here. Farage would crash the economy like Truss, Keir Starmer says. Fair dodging, chipping away at society, Jenrick says. Yeah, because that's the main problem. SNP's to back tobacco ban plan for a smoking-free generation in Scotland. SNPs have given their consent to UK legislation which aims to create a smoke-free generation. The Scottish Parliament passed a legislation to consent motion, which means MSPs agreed to Westminster to pass a law which affects a divulged area. The Tobacco and Vapes Bill is a UK-wide legislation that would ban tobacco products from anyone born after January 1st, 2009. It would also bring in reconciliation on the advertising and sale of vapes, as well as renewing its packaging of e-cigarettes. Like I've said this, my position on this before. I don't agree the complete and total ban of smoking, outlawing smoking all entirely, because because of something that good morning, Billy Kershaw. I hope you're doing well there, and anybody else I haven't waved to. Because if you're going to ban something that considered by some people is a leisure, and yes, it does harm body smoking because obviously it affects your lungs and whatnot. Well, you can say the same thing about alcohol. Like, if we're going to be outright banning something that's harmful to our bodies, why are we not doing this to alcohol? Why are we not doing this to other things? Let's do this to alcohol as well. Yeah, let's ban alcohol. Yeah, let's ban alcohol, because obviously it can be just as detrimental to people's lives. And I know pretty much all of you would disagree with that, saying, no, we shouldn't ban alcohol. And my argument is, what's the difference? There is no difference. Yes, make it difficult for people that buy cigarettes, but banning it outright doesn't solve the issue. All it does is just makes people go into the black market to get it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to still find ways to smoke. They're just going to be going on the black market now. So That's the way I see it. I don't see it as this is going to solve the issue. Liverpool parade crash, suspect to appear in court. The ex-Royal Marine Paul Dole was charged on Thursday after 79 people were injured when the car hit the fair. So this is the fucker responsible for hitting all those Liverpool fans apparently. UK's muddy salt marshes vital attacking climate change report finding. Well, allegedly anyway. And your interest in Tate will return to the UK to face their charges, lawyers say. They actually will come to the UK to face their charges. Okay, they say they're innocent. They're actually going to come to the UK to face the charges. Okay, well, we'll see. The lawyers are saying that. Whether they will do that is another thing. Fraudsters made 550. Oh my God, over £500,000 saying fake Scottish grown tea. What? Wow. A fraudster who tricked luxury hotels and stores into buying Scottish grown tea that has grown abroad has been found guilty of a £500,000 scam. Thomas Robinson supplied high-end customers such as Edinburgh's Balmoral Hotel and Dorchester in London with varieties and names like Daltree's White Highland Tea, Sea Needles and Scottish Allier Tea. Trending as the wee tea plantation, he claimed he has been grown on his farmland in Perthshire. Instead, the tea has been imported, repackaged and then resold at hugely inflated prices, Falkland Sheriff Court was told. Robertson also defrauded genuine aspiring Scottish tea growers by selling them plants he claimed were grown in Scotland. The 55-year-old, also known as Thomas O'Brien or Tam O'Brien, rented a former sheep farm near Lodge Bay and then began spanning elaborate lies to customers. Prosecutors said he created a CV for fanatics, claiming, among other things, that he was a multimillionaire and polymer scientist, a former bomb disposal expert, that he had invented the bag for life. Wow, what a fraudster! He also claimed to have developed a special biodegradable ponya that meant that would make tea plant grows half the time the usual time. The court was told it looked like a black bin liner. Wow. What a nasty man. Wow, he went all that way to fraudulent people in such a long length. Damn. Baby among three injured in a dog attack. Hawk that terrorizes village given forever home. Farmer took his own life over inheritance tax. A farmer took his own life the day before the government's budget after weeks of worrying about the looming charges to inheritance tax the inquest has heard. John Charlesworth's son said he believes his father wanted to beat the government's proposal and save the farm for future generations. Mr. Charlesworth, 78, who went by his middle name Philip, was found dead by his son Jonathan Charlesworth in a barn in their farm in Silkstone. The inquest heard Mr. Charlesworth had been struggling to care for his wife who had severe dementia and cancer. The hearing was told that in the months before Chancellor Rachel Reeve's budget, he had been growing more and more anxious about inheritance tax and implementations from them. Jonathan Charlesworth told the hearing, "I think he was under stress looking after my mum, but if it hadn't been for worries about inheritance tax, he would still be here today. He wouldn't have put us all through that for any reason. He thought he was doing it. He thought he was doing it for the good, but I don't agree with that. He thought he was doing it for the greater good. There was a lack of information. It actually wasn't as bad as it could have been, but we didn't know that. We couldn't find any information. We just knew it was coming. We didn't know how bad it was going to be. I think he woke up that morning and thought, I'm not risking it. I'm not risking losing everything that I've worked for." He said that in the months before his father's death. The only thing he was talking about was his inheritance tax. I think he's just going to let the government beat him. This was his final hurrah, he said. This is terrible. This is heartbreaking to look at. The thing is, and we have to be very, very careful here not to assume as well. We honestly don't know the truth. But this headline is really, like, you only need to put this on the front page of a newspaper to hurt the Labour government. That's really not like my heart. My most important thing, the condolences goes out to friends and family of them. But yes, absolutely. Just tragic to read stories like that, guys. Yeah, I hate seeing stories like that. What's happening in Central News Asia here? Ex-Goldman banker Lysiat sentenced to 2 years in prison for one MDD case. Asian markets reverse as appeal court gives Trump's tariffs reprise. China is wooing Malaysia and Indonesia with mega investment, but is the plan working? Second group of Hong Kong Democrats freed after 4 years in jail. China sets up international mediation body in Hong Kong, and China is set to resume Japanese seafood imports halted due to Fukushima worries. South Koreans vote early in record numbers in polls triggered by the martial law. Yeah, there's still a lot of people there's still a lot of supporters behind the original president who did it as well. Macron decorates Indonesia leader, announces cultural partnership. South Korean president set to reshape politics for key US ally. Nepal royal demands restoration of monarchy dumped after 14 years. China slams unreasonable US decisions to revoke student visas. Thai Cambodian army chief to meet over border clash. Malaysian minister seeks police probe on upcoming LGBTQ events. Said it violates moral values. Okay, sure. US to start revoking visas for Chinese students. We saw that already. Naval patrol plane crashes in South Korea, killing 4. Stock dollars rally as Trump's tariffs hit tariffs hit the court roadblock. South Koreans turn out in record numbers in early voting as presidential hopeful vows change. So those are some stories there over in Asia. Interesting stuff there. Let's have a look at the Financial Times here. The Bank of England governor urges UK government to seek to closer trade ties with the EU. UK's top lawyer attacks Bagnot over calls to leave the European Human Rights Treaty. Attorney General Richard Hammer says pesto realistic politicians risk providing a seconder to Putin. Nigel Farage and the perils of peaking too soon with just 5 MPs reform UK's terrorising Westminster, but holding a poll lead to 4 years isn't easy. Almost 2.5 million people in England estimate to have ADHD. Only a third of those with attention deficit hyperactive disorder are thought to have been diagnosed, data shows. Excuse me. Britain needs to stop fiddling with physical policy. To reform UK's tax and spending plans add up. We saw that already. British politics is a choice between Labour and reform, says Starmer. Calm pitches London to US business and alternatives to Trump's turbulence. 1 in 10 UK civil servants' jobs are facing the axe there. Let's have a look at the homepage of the Financial Times, see what they're saying. Foreign tax provision in Trump's budget bill spooks Wall Street. Tariffs take Detroit to the verge of breakup with best friends in Canada. UK fuel payment U-turn risks turning 1.5 billion cut into net cost, analysts warn. Drink scoop amount fight back as alcohol faces tobacco moment. Commodities giant ADM exploits green fuel UK producers have said there. Let's see what else have they got here. University places for science and engineering failed to keep up with UK demand. US appeal court gives temporary reprieve to Trump's tariffs. Inside the battle to save patients in Gaza's last hospital. It's a miracle that hospital is still going. It's a miracle. The EU to launch age check app as pressure builds on big tech. New Stellana CEO, the water polo player charged with a deep Fiat and Jeep afloat. Okay. Budget cuts threaten UK soft power, warns government advisor. So anything else here? Nothing really too much there. That's just on the front page of the Financial Times there. Some interesting stuff there. Let's have a look at Reuters, guys. Let's see what Reuters have got to say. Might go to a couple of other news outlets as well, possibly. I've got 2 more up on here, but I might open up 1 or 2 more. Trump's tariffs to remain in effect after appeal court grants a stay. Trump's tariffs tally 34 billion and counting, global companies say. If trade court ruling stands, Trump's seen shifting to other options for tariff assault. Trump summons Fed powers tell him he's making a mistake at rates. Global airlines to address trade war, net zero uncertainty at annual summit. German retail sales fall unexpectedly in April. Stocks slipped at $1 as a Trump tariff remained after latest courtroom twist. Dollar poised for the fifth month drop on trade physical uncertainty. U.S. appeal court reinstates Trump's tariffs, suing market confusion. Yeah, the I think this is a great point to point out as well. There was an actual increase in the stock markets, especially on Wall Street when the courts made that announcement on the tariffs. And I have to say, it's pretty pathetic. I think they really. I agree with a lot of people saying that those in Wall Street are really thick, because like, have they not been paying attention to what Donald Trump has been saying and doing? Like, do you really like? I even if it goes all the way to the Supreme Court about the Trump tariffs, I can still see Trump just carrying on with them. US proposed 60-day ceasefire in Gaza plan shows. We've seen that already. Without Musk, Doge likely to fizzle out, says ex-staffer. Yep, it will fizzle out. Trump's administration ban the use of race, sex data in federal hiring. Judge blocks Trump's ban on Harvard international students. Trump's administration ousts his top ICE official amid migrant arrests push. Interesting. Trump spurs questions about safety of Germany's gold in New York. Creator Famines Hot Cheetos loses PepsiCo Frito-Lay lawsuit. Australia retail sales slip in April as consumers say frugal. Exclusive Sinopol halts Chinese sales due to US export restrictions. The internal memo shows. Exclusive under US presser, Liechtenstein seeks a fix to standard rush for standard Russian wealth. US SEC dismisses lawsuit against Binance crypto exchange. Afghans in Kentucky fear for the future. Trump administration said it will end temporary protective status for Afghanistans in July, raising the threat of being sent back to Afghanistan. I lost everything. Swiss resident in shock after glacier debris buries village. Oh my God, look at that village. Residents struggling to absorb the scale of devastation caused by a huge slab of glacier that buried most of their picturesque Swiss village in what scientists suspect is a dramatic example of climate change impact on the Alps. My God, it's just horrible. Mandela urges thousands to evacuate Canada's wildfires spread. Yeah, there's been a wildfire spreading in Canada at the moment. There, we're part of Canada. At the UN, US says Russia's Putin should take Ukraine's ceasefire deal. Zelensky accuses Russia of another deception by holding back peace and memorandum. Well, not a surprise. Ukraine drone attacks hospital homes in Russia's Kursk. Officials have said there as well. Just a reminder, at 9, there's quite a lot happening. There's a lot of live streams coming on today, guys. I'll round up all the some of the live streams that are taking place if you guys are interested as well. Let's see what the Independents had to say. This is their top stories here. Russell Brand set to enter plea on rape and sexual assault charges. Trump tariffs are back on for now. Appeal court's rules. Starmer's most extraordinary attack on Farage shows what Labour is really worried about, according to our analysis piece there. North Korea sent 20,000 containers of ammunition to aid Putin's war effort. Well, they sent soldiers as well, because we know that they pushed Ukraine out of the Kursk region as well. Hamas says US ceasefire plan accepted by Israel does not meet its demands. Farage, abortion plans would have catastrophic consequences for women. Yeah, a man telling people like what abortion should be. Yeah, really shouldn't. She really should shut up about it, Nigel. Almost 1 in 20 people aren't paying to use the tube. Yeah, that's true. Well, nationwide customers to earn £100 bonus this year. Are you eligible? Yes, if you have a nationwide account, you could get up to £100 from them, guys. So now you have to spend almost an hour researching a story to find the actual truth. Normal people don't stand a chance. Yeah, if you actually take the time and just see some of these stories, like there's a lot of these stories I've looked at, right, where we haven't really looked into them, but I'm sure some of you guys will have seen them. And it's like, what's that story? You know, and then after the live stream, well, you can have a Google look yourself if you want to have a look at it, you know. Or if there's a particular story, you can always message me on Discord if there's a particular one you want me to try and cover, and I may or may not cover it separately. Starmer hints scrapping 2-child benefit cap. 1 in 20 people aren't using the tube. Starmer fears postman delivery through bills through letterbox going up. Striking doctors no longer have public backing. Will no longer have public backing, West Streeting says. I call bullshit on that. Portugal's Cengiz Party becomes the main opposition and joins Europe's far-right surge there. Why is this still under UK politics? Like, why have the Independent not sorted this out? We looked at this literally yesterday. We still haven't sorted that out. Stupid, aren't they? I was going to look at NBC News, but I'm going to leave it for now because we just literally reached 9 o'clock here. So, guys, just a quick reminder. So, starting in about a minute or two will be the Morning Brew with Graham Hughes on Politics Social. Feel free to check that out if you guys want to check that out. At 10:30 today, Dave McGinnis will cover the papers review on his channel, youtube.com/the two Davies. So, check out the paper review from him there. At 1 p.m. today, Graham Hughes and Phil Morehouse, that's Phil from A Different Bias, they will host The Agenda at 1 p.m. on Politics Social, covering the news throughout the week, mainly be UK news, but in particular. At 5 p.m. today, Daily Blase will have his Friday Frolics, where he'll have lots of fun and lots of banter. It's a really, really fun, entertaining live stream, guys. And if you need that going into the weekend after the week that you've had, I do recommend checking it out. It's 5 p.m. UK time, youtube.com/Daily Blase. Do check out his Friday Frolics there. I'm not going to do a live stream tonight. I did plan to do one, but I'm going to leave it instead because I want to focus on getting content done for the weekend for you guys, for the weekend ahead, guys. I think that's better that I do that anyway. There, I know I was originally planning to. I really was originally planning to do the live stream, but after last, what I don't want to do is I don't want to overwork myself. I think is a good thing as well, guys. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for those hitting for the super chats for helping reach today's goal. Today's goal on the live stream. Really appreciate it. Pingu really appreciates all the support you guys have given to the Democratic Penguins Republic this week overall, guys. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the gifted memberships. I will be back live again on Monday morning. Join me at 8 a.m. for another Good Morning with Reganelite, and we'll look at some of the news and what's been happening over the past couple of days. Do check out some other YouTubers as well, not just myself. There's many other great YouTubers out there. youtube.com/allshortspolitics. All Shorts does some great, wonderful politics there. Big Mad Studios is another great one. No Justice MTG, also known as Helena. She also does some work for Navarra Media as well there. Truth to Power does a weekly video on his channel, Adele, youtube.com/Truth to Power. Also check out Alex from Political X, youtube.com/Political X, does some great work as well as some of the top YouTubers some of you guys know. There are some wonderful guys out there. Do check out some of them. If you look in the description below, there's a bunch of YouTubers you can check out as well. Power to the People by Graham Price also does some great videos there as well. So do check out some other YouTubers as well. But I am done for the week in terms of live streams. As for whenever I don't know when I'm going to bring back the premiere videos, if I'm ever going to bring them back, but I'm not ruling it out completely. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves as always, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.